Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is May 2nd, 2024, and Vitor Roque has asked the club to be sold. Also, Eric Garcia could end up replacing Ronald Araujo. And finally, PSV Eindhoven are currently reassessing their situation in regards to Serginho Dest. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and as I've mentioned many times before, I am still out of town on vacation. This is why I'm bringing you this short live video in order to keep you up to date on all the Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so I won't be addressing the chat section or reading your comments out loud. This is simply to deliver all the Barca news in a live format since I am away from my studio, my YouTube studio, and therefore I cannot edit and upload videos. Now, having said all that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Now, let's begin with the news because Vitor Roque has set his foot down and has informed the club that he would rather be sold than sent on loan. Now, Vitor Roque is currently in a very strange situation where he was signed to be supposedly Barcelona's next star, someone that could compete with Robert Lewandowski temporarily and then eventually take the place of the Polish striker. The club shelled out 30 million euros on him, fixed plus another 30 million euros on variables. And now that Vitor Roque is here at the club ahead of schedule because he was supposed to arrive in the summer, but Barcelona paid extra to bring him in the winter. All of a sudden, Roque is finding himself without any minutes of play. And there's now talks about a possible loan exit in the summer. So the player and his entourage are definitely finding themselves in a strange situation, which they don't understand. Roque and his entourage understand that there's a thing called adaptation that Roque first needs to adapt. He understands that he's competing against Robert Lewandowski, one of the greatest strikers of our generation. He understands all of that, but he does not understand that why would the club shell out so much money on him, sign him as the next big thing, as the next big star, bring him before schedule in the winter, only to start talking about a possible loan in the summer. Now, there's another thing that the player and his entourage don't understand, which is the constant talk in the media about his loan. The club has consistently told Roque that, they count on him, that they believe in him, that he's simply adapting. That's not why he's not getting minutes. But then every second of the day, the media outlets are constantly talking about Roque being loaned out. And if the media are talking about that, it's for a reason. They're not just going to make that up. So the player and his entourage don't understand exactly what's going on. And of course, as I reported before, Roque has ruled out a loan exit. He has told the club he does not want to leave on loan, but given that the constant talk of loan in the media, and given that the player and his entourage don't understand exactly what's going on, they have now informed the club that if Barcelona don't count on him and if they want to send him out on loan, that Roque would prefer to be sold. Now, this is a very serious thing, and I think I do agree with it, and I understand where Vitor Roque is coming from. After all, a lot of clubs were interested in the Brazilian player, clubs like Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, even Real Madrid. All these clubs were offering to pay the entire price of Vitor Roque to Atlético Paranaense. They were also willing to offer him a much higher salary. Despite all of that, the player decided to reject all those offers, to wait for Barcelona, knowing Barcelona's financial situation, knowing that Barcelona would have to negotiate with Atlético Paranaense a payment plan, knowing that Barcelona would offer him a much, much lower salary. Despite all of that, he waited for the club. He agreed to come to the club because it was his dream to play for Barcelona. He thought it was the best choice for his future. And now, again, he comes to the club. He finds himself without any minutes to play. He finds himself with a lot of people talking about a possible loan exit. So therefore, the player has now informed the club that if they don't count on him, that if they plan to send him on loan, He would rather be sold because he knows that there are other clubs out there who would be willing to give him the chance, who would be willing to pay him what he deserves. So this is the position that Roque is currently in. He has put his foot down and has informed the club now. So it all will depend on what Barcelona will do in the summer, whether they still decide to loan him out or sell him, or whether they decide to finally give him the opportunity, which is what the club should be doing. Because let's remember, Roque was not signed as a player for Barca Athletic, a player that, okay, let's sign him. Let's see how he does. If he does great, then we'll promote him. And if not, we'll get rid of him. No. Roque was signed as the future star of Barcelona. So the least Barcelona should do is give him the chance to try out for the first team or to play more minutes with the first team so he can show us what he can do. Because when you pay 60 million euros for a player, you're paying that money with the idea that that player, will succeed at the club. This is not someone you sign to see, maybe let's see if he works out, maybe not. No. This is a player that you're paying all that money because you're counting on him to succeed. So let's give him the chance to succeed rather than keep him on the bench, and rather than talking about possible loans, which again, as I said in yesterday's video, I said it's a terrible mishandling of the situation, because not only because of Vitor Roque himself, but what kind of message are we sending to other players that we're going to try to sign? What kind of message are we sending to players like Messinho, who dreams of playing in Barcelona? What are we going to tell him? We're going to tell him, oh, it's okay, we like you, we think you're going to be a star, we're going to spend money on you, we're going to sign you, and then when you come here, we're not going to give you a single minute, and then we're going to send you on loan. I think this is a terrible, terrible situation. I'm glad that Vitor Roque is putting his foot down and letting the club know, you either keep me here, give me the chance to prove what I have, or if you don't count on me, just sell me, because there are plenty of clubs out there who would love to have me, and they're not going to be doing what you're currently doing to me. Anyways, more news, because it's reported that Xavi Hernandez would like Eric Garcia to be Ronald Araujo's substitute in case the Uruguayan does end up leaving the club. Now, we've been talking about Ronald Araujo for quite some time. There's been a lot of interest in the player from other clubs. Of course, Barcelona have made it clear that Araujo is not for sale. Araujo has also said that he wants to stay at the club. As such, the club has begun negotiation with Ronald Araujo to extend his contract past its expiration of 2026. They also want to increase his salary, because when he renewed the last time, he agreed to a low salary because of the club's financial situation. And as I reported in yesterday's video, Barcelona have put the ball in Araujo's court, sending him that official offer, extending his contract, increasing his salary, letting him know that he's very important, that the club count on him, that he's the cornerstone of the project, but at the same time saying, hey, here's the offer. You either accept it, or if not, then it's going to be up to you whether you leave the club or not. We're not going to sell you. We don't want you to leave. We want you to stay. So if you leave, it's going to be completely your decision. So this is what Barcelona have done. Of course, Araujo has said he wants to stay. We'll see whether he accepts that offer or not. But just in case Araujo does end up leaving, it's reported that Xavi has informed the club that if Araujo leaves, he would rather have Eric Garcia come back from loan and be kind of Araujo's replacement. Now, Eric Garcia will be coming back from loan either way. He does not have an option or an obligation to buy his contract. Of course, Barcelona were planning on offloading him on a permanent basis this summer. But now Xavi asking that if Araujo does leave, for Eric Garcia to be his replacement. Now, the last bit of news is regarding Serginho Dest, because it's reported that now PSV Eindhoven are reassessing the whole situation with the American fullback. Now, as I reported before, Serginho Dest has suffered a torn ACL in his knee, which will require surgery, which means that Serginho Dest's season is over and that he will be out for several months. Of course, he's on a one-season loan to PSV Eindhoven with an option to buy worth 10 million euros. After the injury was announced, there was worries in Barcelona that PSV Eindhoven might not want to sign him. Of course, PSV Eindhoven's coach came out and said that they're still interested in signing him, so that kind of calmed things down. But now it's being reported that PSV Eindhoven are reassessing the whole situation, and perhaps they might not want to sign the player this summer due to the injury. Now, the main reason for this is that Dest's contract expires in the summer of 2025. his recovery will take several months. So PSV Eindhoven are now thinking, wait a minute, if we sign Serginho Dest, we pay the 10 million euros, he's going to be sitting on the bench for a long time on injury. Why not keep him in Barcelona, have Barcelona pay his full salary for a year, have Barcelona pay his entire recovery, and then in a year, Dest will be fully recovered. He'll be a free agent, and we can still sign him without having to pay his transfer fee, without having to pay his salary for a whole season, and without having to pay his recovery. So PSV definitely reassessing the situation as far as Serginho Dest, considering not signing him this summer, which of course would be a huge blow for Barcelona, because Barcelona were counting on those 10 million euros that they were hoping to make off the sale of the American fullback. So not good news in that department. We'll see what happens. Of course, no final decisions have been made, but I am curious to hear your thoughts about everything I just shared with you. Vitor Roque, Eric Garcia, Sergio Des. So let me know down below. Anyways, that is all for this video. I'm going to be uploading another video in a few minutes. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And as always, peace, cabas.